One thing I never thought I'd say is that I'm prepping for my fish dissection. And I guess vets apparently do learn about everything. I don't know why I thought it was a good idea to wake up at 6 and get all of my studying done. Vet school can feel like a full-time job if you're adding extracurriculars, hobbies, exercising, making your food, working a job to get by in vet school. It really adds up and the schedule just fills up. This is my third week of my second year of vet school. We are so back, baby. Let's go. It's 8 a.m. I'm right on time to start my revision for the day. I do it in the morning before uni. Today I start at 1 p.m. so really late start. I'm gonna get into uni earlier than that though because I have to work on something else. So right now I'm gonna start my revision and I'll probably see you once I get into uni. All right, let's go. Okay, it's 9:15. I'm in the computer room right now. I'm gonna work on my research project that I did over the summer. We're trying to get it published or at least finish the report and send that into basically the people who supervise the project. So I'm gonna work on that right now. I have lecture at 1 p.m. so that means I have like 4 hours to get a good amount of work in, 3.5 hours to get a good amount of work in. And as you can see, I'm soaked. I love London, but yeah, we're gonna get to work now and I'll probably see you during lecture. Okay, it's 4 p.m. I finished my 2 lectures for the day. My energy kind of dipped down, but luckily there's a dry spell and no rain, so it's a good excuse to head home. I told my supervisors that I get back a draft to them with some wider literature in on my research project that I did with them over the summer. So the grind will continue. It's 6:15 right now. I'm gonna keep going. Hopefully I can do the intro section in like full detail and I'll send it to them and see if that's what they like and then I'll continue. But yeah, that's the state I'm at right now. Most days it wouldn't be like this. I wouldn't be doing a side project for this long. That's just how it worked out today. I got behind on stuff last week. You could check out that vlog. It was a pretty bad week, but I'm back now. Anyway, time to get to work. Good morning. It's Tuesday, let's go. Slice of toast with peanut butter, honey, and banana, and then some yogurt with blueberries, almonds, and kiwis. Alright, it's 1 p.m., so I'm headed to a practical and then a dissection. Okay, it's 5 p.m. I finished my dissection. Right now I'm heading over to a mandatory training session because I was elected to a position basically to represent my course on all of our issues and that sort of thing. So head over there right now. Good morning and happy Wednesday. It's 9 a.m., which means I missed my first lecture of the day. My stuff updated overnight, so my alarms didn't go off. My second lecture of the day is at 10 a.m. It's a 2-part series on pharmacology, and hopefully I don't miss too much in that first lecture. All right, I got my bike helmet on, ready to head home. I finished my lecture, and then I met with my other course rep, who we're supposed to work together as a pair and represent our cohort's views on things and try to address problems. I did this position last year as well, so I kind of know how it works, but we just got to get set up and introduce ourselves and start fixing some problems, hopefully. So headed home now to review that lecture that I missed and then do my revision for the day. I'm very happy it is a Wednesday half day and I have a lot of time to make up for the work that I'm behind on, as well as do some other things like go to the gym and work on that research project. So I'll head home and do some work.
On different parameters and how
It's just before 9 p.m. I'm gonna head to the gym before it closes and then head straight to bed and try to get up early tomorrow. I didn't do too good today in terms of being productive and like getting my stuff done on time, but I got it done regardless, so a win is a win. Tomorrow hopefully it can be a bit better. See how it goes, but that's it for today. See you for hopefully a pretty good Thursday. Good morning and happy Thursday. It's 8:30 a.m. so I'm gonna start my revision and then I'll head into uni for my 10 a.m. lecture. One thing I never thought I'd say is that I'm prepping for my fish dissection, and I guess vets apparently do learn about everything. Okay, I finished my lectures and I finished my dissection. The fish was pretty cool to dissect. It was definitely very different from the other stuff we do. Right now I'm gonna head home and then I've got to work on my research project today, so that's gonna be the #1 priority. Change of plans, not working on my research report. I'll probably wait for my other supervisor to add some comments and then I'll do it tomorrow because I only have one thing and it's in the morning, so I'll have the rest of the afternoon to hopefully have some energy and get that done. Right now I don't have too much energy, so I'm gonna work on my society. I'm the president of Study Society. It's something I created last year. Basically, I was like, oh, there's no materials for us to revise as vet students, so I figured as students we can just collaborate and make them ourselves, and I turned it into a society. So if I want to get some events going, I've got to do a lot of work to get funding, get people interested, get numbers, all that sort of thing. So I'll work on that today, and then hopefully in the next month we can start having some really fun events. I quite enjoy the peer teaching and like the whole vibe we have going on with the society, so happy about that. That's what I'll work on today. Probably head to bed really early because I looked at my revision schedule for tomorrow and it's heavy and I have 9 a.m. so I might just wake up like really early and do all that revision, go to uni, and then maybe have an early day. I don't know. Maybe I'll have an early day today so that I have energy for tomorrow. That's the plan. I'll see how it goes. Okay, it's 6:30. I'm gonna start revising now. I don't know why I thought it was a good idea to wake up at 6 and get all of my studying done for the day before my 9 a.m. But if it works out, then that's really good. If it doesn't work out, then my energy's gonna tank at about 2 p.m. So hopefully it works out. I'll see you later. It's 9 a.m. It's time for my histology practical. I'll see you inside and try to get some clips. Okay, I'm headed home right now. It's 2 p.m. Haven't eaten lunch, so I'm really hungry. I normally wouldn't leave this late after I finished because I finished at 10:30, but we figured we'd host like an office hours for people to raise any complaints about the course to us as like their representatives. So I did that for a bit, and then we had basically homework. They gave us a poster to complete as a group, so I went in and finished that and submitted it, and then the rest was just like talking to people and trying to sort small things. But 2 p.m. now, so I can head home finally. Hey. Well, I just finished foosball Friday with my friend and I got destroyed. So now I'm down 4-8 in total and I have to keep trying to beat her by the end of the term. Otherwise, I'm dressing up as Santa to our exam. So I'll see you next week for foosball Friday and hopefully I make a comeback. Good morning, happy Saturday. It's about 11 a.m. right now. I parked my bike over at the university. I'm headed over to our second campus because I have a first aid training. Every single society has to have some people who are first aid trained. So because I'm the president of mine, I figured, okay, I'll go get that training done. I figured I should take a rest day, so I'm not gonna study at all today, but I am gonna work on an application for student ambassador job, which is basically like you can give tours of the campus, you go to events and talk about the university. So gotta write a personal statement for that, and that's what I'll probably do on the train and in any small breaks I have today. Alright, I'm back. I'm at our campus in London and I've changed my clothes because I'm going to this South Asian Society event called Diwali. I went last year, it was super fun, so I'm going again this year. I'll show you some of the food when I get in there and it should be a blast. Yeah. This is all from memory. Okay, and I've added in the green some of the stuff that I missed, which is very little, so I'm quite happy with that. I'm going to continue on studying this topic. Once again, this is before I check any answers, so this is all off my memory, and now it's time to check. Okay, all the pink is stuff I missed, which is not that much, so I'm actually pretty happy with this too. This is what I remembered for B-cell mediated immunity, and I'm going to check the answers now. And I barely had to add anything, so I'm actually very happy with this too. Okay, one last time, and all I missed here was basically the name of the glycoprotein and then also the interleukin. So not too bad. Overall, this was 4 lectures worth of stuff. It took longer than I thought it would to finish this topic. It's about 4 lectures worth, which I studied in 2 to 2.5 hours, and that's slower than I normally go for that amount of content. But the good thing is I recalled a lot of it on my own, and so I had a high retention, and because I had a good retention, I'm not going to study this again for, who knows, maybe a month or longer. So in the long run, I've saved time, but for today, it's just kind of a slow start. I didn't set an alarm, and then I went studying, and I studied slow. So now it's basically like 1:30, and I've got to still edit this vlog and do some other work, which that's how it goes sometimes. For the rest of the day, I'm just going to go to the gym since I haven't been there in a couple days. I'm gonna go get some groceries, and then I'm gonna edit the vlog. But this isn't the end of the vlog yet. I think I'm gonna come back and talk about a subject I've been getting asked about a lot, just throughout my regular daily life. So that's coming up next, and then the vlog will be over for the day. I actually have the best neighbors ever. Look at that. Oh my God, my other neighbor came in clutch with these birria tacos. So from my neighbor Christina here, cookies, and from my neighbor Jesse, these birria tacos. So that's dinner and dessert tonight. Epic. It's about 10:30 p.m. I finished editing the vlog and I got to the end of it. So it's time to talk about this week's subject. I figured every vlog I should just spend a couple minutes to talk about whatever has been on my mind. This is a pretty big topic, especially in vet school. So let's go for it. How do I manage my time in vet school, even when it's really busy? So for me, obviously I do vet school as my #1 priority. But aside from that, I have a few side projects, like I do this social media. As you know, because you're watching, which by the way, if you're watching the video and you like it, leave a like below, maybe leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, really appreciate it. Vet school can feel like a full-time job. It can take up that much time or even more, depending on how much time you have to spend studying. And on top of that, if you're adding extracurriculars, hobbies, exercising, making your food, working a job to get by in vet school, it really adds up and the schedule just fills up. So how do you manage it and how do you get things done? For me, the biggest thing is I try to manage my energy and not my time. So if I have to study 2 really hard topics in the morning, it will take me 4 hours to do it if I do it at a time that I have no energy, and it might take me 2 hours to do it if I have really high energy. So I try to time my revision, especially in the moments when I know I'll have good energy. Usually that means like half an hour after I wake up, I'll be bright and awake and I have some energy to tackle it right there. Because if it's my #1 priority, then I need to give it as much attention as possible. Then after that, if I still have energy, I can do something else that's kind of taxing, like maybe, for example, right now I have a research project that drains my battery really fast working on it because it's in the kind of boring part where you're writing the report. It's not really in the fun part of doing the experiment. That would take away my battery really, really quickly. So I gotta wait until I'm in high energy modes to do that. And what do you do if you have low energy? The tasks that don't really take that much. So for me, working on my society, sending out emails, doing all these sorts of little things doesn't take too much energy. I just have to put the time into it and get it done. And how that works out is that I've given my highest energy to my #1 priorities. And that means that they end up taking a lot less time in my life. You know, it would take me double the time to study a topic if I do it at 4 p.m. after a full day of lectures versus if I do it at 8 a.m. before I have anything else on my plate for the day. You also have to find things that fill your battery or at least don't deplete it. So for me, if I'm sending out emails, that doesn't really affect my battery that much. If I go to the gym, that probably gives me some more energy to use for the rest of the day. And obviously if I do social activities, I go to the pub quiz, I go hang out with my friends, that typically would not drain my battery. Obviously, sometimes social settings can drain your battery, but you know, in general, the main thing is you're trying to balance out your energy levels going down throughout the day and trying to fill them back up when you can. So usually that looks like going to the gym maybe at night and then coming back and doing an hour or two more of work because I've got a little boost from going to the gym. Or that means after a meal, I head back to work because obviously the food would give me a bit of energy. That's how I do it. Try to manage my energy and the time just follows. And sometimes when you get stressed, you have to push things down. I was supposed to work on my research project for the last few days. didn't really have the energy for it, so I'm putting it on a day when I know I have high energy, and then I'll tackle it then. You also got to be lenient with yourself. Obviously, a vet student, studying is the #1 priority, and if you have to maybe pass on one of your side projects or extracurriculars or other little things that you've picked up as a student, sometimes you got to do that, you know? I can't work on my study society every single day, even though it's one of my favorite projects and positions that I have. I have to put myself first, and then when I have the energy, pour it all into my other passions. That's how I found it worked for me. You can watch the last vlog last week to see what it looks like when the energy's down and it just ends up being a really, really bad week. I was sick a few times last week. There was some other stuff, so the stress piled up. Is a very, very bad week. You can check it out on my channel. But that being said, this was a pretty good week, and this is the end of the vlog now. If you liked these videos, you can watch some more on my channel if you haven't already. I'm posting every week my life as a vet student because I want to share what it's like. I never really got to see what my future would be like when I was applying, and I didn't get anyone online to really relate to or see them struggling through or succeeding through vet school. So hopefully these videos are entertaining at least. If not, they could be educational, informational, all that sort of thing. If you enjoy it, please leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know if you're a pre-vet, a vet student, a veterinarian, or just a random person who likes watching these videos, and I'll reply to them all. That being said, it's the end of the video now, end of the vlog. I'll see you next week for a great week in the life of a vet student. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.